across the fence, the Vermont Farm Bureau is turning 100. We'll learn about the anniversary celebration and how the Farm Bureau supports farmers and landowners. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. For 100 years, the Farm Bureau has been on a mission to serve and advance Vermont agriculture. Today, there are more than 4,000 member families across Vermont's 14 counties who help preserve and strengthen Vermont's working landscape. To begin, I'm joined by two Farm Bureau members. Clark Hinsdale III is the organization's president and the owner of Nordic Farms in Charlotte. And Ann Tisbert is the Farm Bureau's education chairwoman, and she is a certified organic vegetable grower who owns Valley View Farm in Cambridge. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Now, Ann, so you have some big plans for the Farm Bureau's big anniversary.
Yes, Farm Bureau is celebrating their 100 years, and we'll be having a big event celebration up at J Peak from November 5th through November 7th. Everyone is welcome, both farmers and non-farmers, and it's a 3-day event. And we'll start on Thursday, November 5th with a trade show at noon. And then Thursday evening, we'll have a family pizza party.
Nice. So
that we have some social interaction. We are then going to have an interactive Farm Bureau game show. And Friday, we go right into our annual meeting and the afternoon workshop with John Anderson from the Burlington law firm of Burak, Anderson, and Maloney. John defends farmers in agricultural issues. And we will begin our silent auction then. And then Friday evening, we'll have a cocktail reception, a centennial dance party with live music from Evansville Transit Authority. And Saturday, our county delegates will meet and set policy for Vermont for the coming legislative year.
And so if people are interested?
Yeah, our annual events are always fun, and they should contact Chris O'Keefe at the Farm Bureau office at 434-5646.
And so who should be a Farm Bureau member?
Everyone and anyone that would like to support agriculture, especially farmers, and non-farmers can also be members. The face of agriculture is always changing. Right now there are many new and young farmers with diverse areas of agricultural interest. And Farm Bureau encourages all their farmers and families and friends to join Farm Bureau and get involved at that grassroots level. Farm Bureau supports farming in 3 major areas: creating policy for political policies, enjoying social outlets, and benefiting from many discount programs.
Now, Clark, why would a farmer or property owner want to become involved in the Farm Bureau?
Well, because there are many laws, rules, and regulations that are passed that affect our everyday lives as farmers. For example, taxes, all kinds of taxes.
Yeah.
Property taxes, where we have the current use program that taxes farms and forest lands based on what the land is actually used for and not based on its potential to be a house lot or a shopping center. The sales tax issue, we enjoy a sales tax exemption on agricultural inputs, which is designed to keep food affordable. And so we've had some issues with that in terms of the more new age farmers and who is considered to be a real farmer for tax purposes or not. So we follow those issues and many others. The big issue this year was water quality.
Right.
And of course, farmers and foresters own the bulk of the state, and the water runs across their property. How to have the water that runs across our property leave our property is cleaner than when it landed on our property is a big challenge for everyone.
Now, Clark, how did the Farm Bureau get involved in some of these issues?
Well, the Farm Bureau actually was the first organization in Vermont to actually field a lobbyist in the legislature. And Farm Bureau is really nothing more than pure, simple democracy. One member, one vote, majority rules, and every year at this time, the counties get together and develop the policy based on the issues that they're facing on their farms.
And so what are some of the benefits of being a Farm Bureau member?
Well, number one is to be part of the solution that keeps Vermont a farm-friendly state. Farmers compete internationally for the products that they grow and sell. And so being able to have a business-friendly climate low property taxes, sales tax exemption, favorable regulations to promote a healthy agricultural economy. That's number one. But also, farming can tend to isolate people. You live and work on your farm, and you spend many hours. And just being able to interact with other farmers and talk about your common problems and what can be done about them is a very important kind of networking reason to belong.
So, Ann, in addition to being a policy voice for agriculture, what are some of the other benefits that the Farm Bureau members
Well, that social
enjoy?
piece that Clark was just talking about, how the farmers can get together after working from dawn to dusk, and they really need to share their thoughts, not just about political policy, but about equipment and about the soil or a disease that's going around and spreading in their area. So there's many issues that the farmers really would like to share. And they get together monthly usually and exchange their ideas. Then what we do is every year we have an annual meeting, and this year, in conjunction with our meeting at 100-year celebration, it will be at Jay Peak, where those members will come and have a state reception and banquet for a session of policymaking. And then the farmers from the states go through their annual meeting in January, which this year was going to be in Orlando. I'm actually looking forward to going down to Orlando for the national meeting. They say there's going to be 5,000 members who will congregate, and it'll do the same similar policy on a grander scale.
Well, joining us now is current Farm Bureau member and the organization's former Government Affairs Director, Tim Buskey. Welcome. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for asking.
So how and when did the Farm Bureau start?
Well, the Farm Bureau movement began in around 1911, and it began in Broome County, New York, just outside of Binghamton, New York. That spread quickly across the East Coast, and a lot of farms were interested in what the Farm Bureau movement might be. Windsor County Farm Bureau was the first in the state of Vermont in 1912 to organize formally. And the whole idea came out of the Chamber of Commerce in Broome County, New York, part of the Farm Bureau of the Chamber of Commerce. And that's where the Bureau came from. It gave rise to an effective policy process, gave farmers the ability to get together and talk about mutual problems. And the process began to be refined from there. As other county farm bureaus got organized in Vermont, they formed the Vermont Farm Bureau in 1915, and that's why we're celebrating 100 years today. And in 1915, at the very, very beginning of the organization, some questions were there regarding how to formulate policy and how to put the policy development process together. And there was a great discussion during that time. Farm Bureau was there for the establishment of the American Farm Bureau Federation in 1919. That was in Chicago at the famous LaSalle Hotel. They there had another discussion of that same issue. How do we have policy that is effective and that everyone can address equally? And I think that's where the beginning of the group came. Now there's over 5 million members nationwide.
So how did they decide?
Well, they decided that they had the choice of either going with the educators and the people who had all the information and the best and the brightest in the fields that they were looking at, or they could look for the answers from within. They decided to look for the answers from within. So the respect for the individual is primary in Farm Bureau.
And so where would they meet?
Well, they met at the County Farm Bureau level once a month with their County Farm Bureau boards. And of course, anybody is invited to come to speak with the board. They'd meet annually, and their annual meetings are the big deal in Farm Bureau, the county annual meetings that are going on right now. And every member is a delegate. And in Vermont, you have 2 delegates per family. So there's no discrimination there, two votes per family. And they meet as delegates at the county level.
And so, Ann, besides the political representation and social outlets, I understand there's also a membership discount and benefits?
Yes, all our Farm Bureau members can save substantial amounts, and many of them even get their money back. For instance, if you need a tool, a chainsaw, or a drill, you would go to Granger, and we receive a 10% discount with Granger. Nationwide Insurance offers discounts on farm and car insurance, and their agents through Vermont are specially trained on farm insurance. If you need a new truck, there's a $500 discount at Chevy, Buick, or GMC. And tires for that truck, you would go to Rouse's Tires and receive the local discount there. But our most popular discount, Judy, is the Suburban Propane and Fuel Oil discount.
And that got my attention.
Yeah, so we got Judy, and she's a weekly, you can check those weekly prices that are posted on our website at vtfb.org. And these programs and many of the other programs are all on our website at that vtfb.org, and you can check it at any time. It changes, I think, weekly or bi-weekly. And we all know how high the cost of fuel was last winter.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there's also a magazine, too, which I enjoy.
Right. Another great benefit is our Fences magazine. That is also celebrating an anniversary. It's their 10th this fall, and it features many of the Farm Bureau members from all the different counties in Vermont, and it's delivered to all the members as well as the libraries throughout Vermont and subscribers in other states. And it's such a great way to visit different areas and learn about other farms that are going on in the state of Vermont. Everything from dairy to goat cheese, goat caramels, apples. You know, the diversity in our agriculture is really quite large.
Now, Clark, how does someone find out more about becoming a Farm Bureau member?
Well, the website, as Ann mentioned, vfb.org, and also our phone number, actually 434-5646. But you don't necessarily remember that. It spells "if I join." So if you want to know what the benefits are of joining and you'd like to join us, just dial 1-802-IF-I-JOIN, and you will find a helpful person on the other end of the phone that will welcome you.
Do you have to own a farm?
You do not have to own a farm. Now, in the early days of Farm Bureau, farmers were the majority. And now we are 2% of the population. And in order to have a successful ag economy, we depend on each and every one of you out there to understand the issues, support your local farm markets, and be informed consumers. And you're the people that make it possible for us to be in business, and we want to invite you to be part of the Farm Bureau.
And any final words?
Yes, we just want everyone to look us up on the website there and join us at our 100th year anniversary up at Jay Peak. We know we're going to have a great time, and there's so much going on up there. And so we're really looking forward to that. We're still taking sponsors and vendors if anybody is interested in reaching out to the farm community.
Now, Tim, you've been involved for years. Why is that?
Well, I got involved back in the 70s as a member, and then went from there to becoming a field man and also the administrator of the organization. I think it's because I align so well with the policies of the organization. I agree with all of the policies of the organization, so it's easy to become a representative for Farm Bureau and lobby and do all the things that I needed to do as part of my job. It made it a wonderful career for me during my life, and I appreciated every minute of it.
And so how important is it to have somebody in the State House like you that can educate lawmakers about exactly what some of these policies and ideas that they're floating around, how will affect you?
It's very, very important, obviously, because legislators don't have a staff in Vermont. They depend on lobbyists and other folks there that will give them the information they need to make decisions. We read bills from beginning to end throughout the entire session, and we can hopefully break them down for legislators. Of course, we look at them from our standpoint, and so that, but they already know that we're there to represent agriculture in Vermont.
Well, and so much of the economy is based on agriculture in Vermont.
Right. That's an important point. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us today. That's our program for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. We'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.